So we had 1 week off for Gen Con. Okay, so I don't know why Gauntlet League Wrestling wasn't happening last week, except that I wasn't here, and there was no one else to take the place. And I figured that there might have been them fixing the ring after certain destructions and certain things that have happened over the last few weeks. Anyway, I'm here, and I got my Lucha Bunny shirt on. Okay, so we are all set. That is in the house. Tonight, what we're doing is we are in the second month of Gauntlet League Wrestling. We're going to introduce some wrestlers that will be here for the month. And we've had at least one person kind of step in nicely to take up a role for this evening. And maybe there's a chance they'll come back. But if they dig the game, we'll find out. Alex, I want to thank you for being willing to do that. That is much appreciated. And we're going to see some interesting changes. We're going to push forward on some storylines. We're going to check in on some feuds. We've got a strong feud right now between Clarabelle and Kent that has been established that I think we're going to see how that all works out now. So what I want to do is say that this is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. You can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. Also, if you dig this video, I've got a bunch of them. You can subscribe. I don't know if you do that kind of thing. If you like APs, you're watching this, maybe you do. But I record about 3 sessions a week. This week I'll have this, Band of Blades, and Tales from the Loop. So that's all cool stuff. Anyway, we do that. Also, for those of you, I think I've played with most of you before. Alex, I haven't. But are you familiar with the X card, Alex?
Yes.
Okay. So for that, if those of you at home, if you see us do this in the X card, that is a wrestling thing. But in this case, it's also a safety tool. If we hit material that is objectionable, problematic, off tone, whatever, we can do the X card to do that. The other thing you may see me do is we have people and events that are on camera and things that are off camera. I'm going to try and ask when we're off camera because that's sort of the backstage thing. So I'll be holding this up to kind of say, okay, red means that we're off camera. Green means that we're on camera. And I'll kind of check in just so we can say, if you know when you call a scene, which way you want it, say it, and we'll get that set right from the start. But let's start with our 2 returning characters, our 2 returning wrestlers in this promotion, Gauntlet League Wrestling. Clarabelle, where are you at now? Tell us about you.
Well, Clarabelle Bleakwood is a second-generation wrestler, part of descendant of the original Lord Bleakwood. Came into the franchise wearing a mask in a different role, and has now taken over her father's gimmick as the matriarch of the Bleakwood family. Sorry, the new Bleakwood family, because of course it's been wrestling, everything has to be new or 2000 or things like that. It's very much the gimmick is very much a Morticia Adams style, but more business suit rather than slinky dress, combined with a little bit of demon summoning and possession on the big pay-per-view matches. Not that I'm copying Finn Balor in any way, shape, or form with that. But,
fair enough.
So yeah, I've been in a feud with Kent because we're both second-generation wrestlers, and we've established at some point his father betrayed my father in one of their matches when they were part of the tag team.
Let me ask you this, Clarabelle. Right now, what do you want? What does your wrestler want?
She wants to bring the storyline with Kent forward and actually bring it to a satisfying conclusion.
Okay. So you kind of focused on that. There's been a lot of scattered stories, but that's the thing you're kind of focused on right now.
At the moment, yes.
Okay. That seems cool. All right. Then with that sort of nice segue, let's talk. Kent Reed, tell us about Kent.
Okay. As Gerwin said, we're both second-generation wrestlers. Kent's father was Eric the Red, a monster heel that had a Viking gimmick. And he was big in the mid-'80s. Apparently, he partnered up for a time with Clarabelle's father. Apparently that did not work out so well. I can't remember if we had fully established where that betrayal happened or what the circumstances were. We just sort of gone back and forth and never really gotten into the meat of it.
Yeah.
But Kent is the golden boy gimmick. Like, he's got a lot of sort of a cachet of popularity, both from his dad and from his look. He is a golden boy that sort of breaks the mold, though. He has, so far as we've established, he's got a lot of friction backstage that kind of resents how fast he's come up. And we never really established anybody in particular backstage that was really on his side.
Oh,
I think only Patrick's previous character, Robbie Reyes, had actually been in the mix pulling the strings in Kent's direction, like to help Kent out. Apparently we established last time there was some pushback from Wolf Backhouse about someone else was trying to get him fired. Somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Never established who, but somebody. And Kent has also, in addition to having to deal with that friction, has also tried to put on a lot of really good matches in the ring to sort of show off what he's been capable of. I have gotten really ridiculously lucky on my dice rolls the last couple of sessions, like spectacularly lucky. Yes. Eventually I'm going to start rolling like chains of fours. I know. Mm-hmm. But the last couple of sessions, like, he's lit it up pretty well, which helped him kind of smooth things over backstage. But he's also been pushing to try and get out from under this Viking gimmick that his dad had established. But the Viking thing is so popular that the backstage folks don't want to let Kent let that thing go. So they've like themed his entrance to it. They've themed all of his video packages with it. Like, they won't let him step away from it yet.
So I like the idea, the thing you mentioned about maybe tonight, if we want, we can pull in, maybe see who might be not digging you backstage or who might be an ally backstage. We can talk about that. I'm going to ask you, you're the other really returning wrestler, so I'm going to put this question to you. What does Kent want right now?
I think Kent he doesn't necessarily want to become the center point of the promotion, because he thinks that would cause even more friction backstage.
Okay.
But he wants to get out there and sort of ingratiate himself with the folks who are apparently like against him. He doesn't know who they are yet, but he wants to move in that direction. So he's not pushing to like grab a hold of a title right now, although he likes being in the mix. He likes the visibility, because he figures the more visibility he gets, the more likely they are eventually to let him try new things. Like, if he establishes that he personally has a cachet of popularity to draw on, not just as a second generation wrestler, not just as the son of Eric the Red, but as Kent Reed, that maybe they'll let him branch out from that gimmick once he gets that established. And he thinks the best way to do that is to put on some good matches, not necessarily to try and grab for titles and push for those. So he really likes the feud with Clarabelle and where it's going, because it puts him in that. Clarabelle's not necessarily going after titles right now. Clarabelle's going after Kent, and that lets them sort of keep Kent sort of out of that direct title contention, but lets him get some center stage action to show off what he can do and how much he can pull in the ring, how much weight he can pull in the ring.
Awesome. That certainly gives us some stuff to play off of. Let's come to our first of our new wrestlers. Now, we skip over the Kraken. The Kraken has got a week off. He took the I believe it was the DM belt last time.
Mm-hmm.
DM belt, the MC belt is still out there, but the Kraken has that. So tell us about your wrestler who's kind of filling in for him this week.
It's Wayne Mad Dog Matthews, coming from Birmingham, Alabama, baby, and he did play for the Crimson Tide back in the day, but that's been many, many years ago. Since then, he's made his name across this fine nation as one of the great heroes of the people, getting out there, making sure that every little man gets his way up. We stand on the shoulders of giants, and a little man is easier to carry. He's known for going out and getting the crowd riled up and smashing through these awful, cheating, lying, despicable sorts. When he puts on the dog pound, all the crowd goes, "Oh!" Backstage, he's one of the orneriest, meanest sons of bitches around.
Okay.
He has beat up on folks when he was younger and fitter, and now he's gotten to where he pulls on the management to keep the younger and fitter ones down. He is extremely jealous of his still staying at the top of the card, and where Muscle has stopped really being his friend. Now it's that conniving, backbiting that keeps him up on top.
Yeah, so he's kind of a vet. He's probably been, at the top of the card around in some leagues. Probably at Gauntlet, we haven't seen him on screen, but we have a number of bouts that we often see, off stage. So he's there, and you're a veteran.
Yep, and I took the bury them move, which is to slow people's pushes so that I can manage to stay up.
I like it. That is a good one. All right. Thank you very much, then, Tyler. I appreciate you going. So, Alex, why don't you tell us about Houston Huxley?
Hi, yes. Houston Huxley is a nice young man from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and he is just so glad to be here, you guys. He was a track star in high school and college, and he got into wrestling in his hometown, and he's just so excited to be here at the Gauntlet and to show everybody what he's got. Backstage, he is essentially the same as he is in the ring, which is to say super nice and sweet on the surface and just, too pure, too good for this world. But then he'll go and stab you in the back, basically. Yeah.
Nice. And you took the athlete?
Yes. And the has the look move that I gain an additional momentum when I work the audience, even if I botch it.
Oh, and that is a nice one, actually. That's very nice.
And naturally gifted to get +1 real.
Yeah, that is good. And what is the starting audience for the athlete? Is that a 1 or 2 for you?
Where does it?
Let me look.
1.
Okay, that means you start with 1 audience, and you'll have 1 momentum at the start of the session. Okay. Thank you very much. So that brings us to James. James, can you tell us about Benson?
Yeah, so the storyline gimmick for Benson is he is kind of a servant here to Clarabelle. So he's a giant. He's well over 6 feet tall. He's always dressed in a suit, has a little hat, on. The thing that's off-putting is he always wears a mask, so you don't see his face. And he's bound to service to their family. That's the rumor here is that Clarabelle owns his soul. So that's his storyline to get it back. Behind, in the back, Benson was a professional weightlifter, and he's not actually very good at wrestling.
Okay.
So he wants to break out and really make it out here on his own, but he's not really that talented. It's just that he's really big and strong. So he sort of got this job. He secretly hopes to be able to break out and become a wrestler in his own right, but we'll see if he gets that chance.
And tell me, what does he look like? What's the outfit or the appearance that we see from him?
Oh, so the outfit for him he's in a suit and tie. So it's kind of like how you'd expect your classic driver to look. So crisp white shirt, black tie coming down, and he has a shirt here that he has a little cap on top that could get knocked off. But he has a face mask. Is there a certain color scheme that his mask should be with the Bleakwood family?
Not really. The previous gimmick I used was Anon, which was anonymous style face masks, but probably porcelain.
Probably porcelain. Oh, okay, yeah. So he has this little like porcelain mask, and we haven't done it yet. So he has makeup on underneath for when that mask gets broke.
Okay,
but that has not happened yet.
Awesome. I love it. Let's come to last but not least, Matt. Can you tell us about Now you've previously had a character known as Sub Pig, and then you had a character who may or may not have been the same character, known as Mr. Fahrenheit. So who are we seeing tonight? If you were there,
You know, I don't even really know who I am anymore. I thought I knew. I was living the dream. And they pushed the spaceman too far. They pushed him off to another planet. And it's not a nice planet. So now this is what you have. Don't stop me now! Don't stop me now!
and what name do you wrestle under?
I don't think that's really like been determined. Like, you know, everyone knows clearly he's the Sub Pig. He's Mr. Fahrenheit. I don't think he's given an official statement on the matter. So he's Sub Fahrenheit on the character sheet.
Sub Fahrenheit. Okay. All right. Well, in that case, when we have you make an appearance, you may not even get an announcement. We just have you straight run in on that to add to the mystery. And what did you take for your? You took tables and ladders and chairs and Master of Hardcore.
Yes.
The classics. All right. So with that in mind, we've got the new wrestlers, and what we have to do for the new wrestlers now is we have to establish heat, have to do the heat map, and each playbook has a set of heat questions. And what it is you'll put the question out. You'll say, somebody did this to me. And you can maybe say, oh, well, it's obviously this person, or another person can take it up. If they take it up, then you mark +1 heat on your sheet with them. You're going to be always writing the heat on your sheet for any of those questions. You will also get an additional +1 heat with everyone who is your opposite number. So if you're a heel, you get 1 heat with faces and vice versa. This is all important because the system has a couple of different resources that we're tracking. There's momentum, which is spent to boost rolls. It's also spent to take control during a match. So momentum is your spendable economy. And a lot of the moves generate momentum for you. We'll talk about that when we come to that. Heat is when you wrestle, how hot you are with another particular wrestler. That's why it is about your relationship with another person. You want to get your heat with another wrestler up to 4. When you get your heat up to 4 with another wrestler, then at the end of a match in which you wrestle with them, your audience is going to go up, which means you get an advance. So spend momentum to push your rolls, get your heat, raise your heat. High heat will generate audience. Audience will get you advances. So there's kind of a chain of things that go along. And we'll come back to that, but I wanted to put that in your head right now about what's going on with that. So we are going to do the same order we just did and go through those questions. Clarabelle and Kent have their questions and their heat already out there. They should reset their audience back down to their starting audience for this because of the advancement of the promotion. Let's start with Wayne Mad Dog Matthews. What are the veterans' heat questions?
All righty. And can I ask real quick, just because I don't know from rules, Matt, Lowell, where do you fall heel face?
I think Icon can use both.
Yeah, the Icon is
How does it
either.
get for the heat mask?
For the
Matt.
Heat map, I'd say he has +1 heat with everyone.
Excellent. Okay. That was just what I was wondering for that.
Yeah.
Okay. So who am I keeping out of the spotlight?
Ooh.
Anybody feel like I'm trying to hold them back? I thought, Kent, you would be a good one. I thought that maybe Huxley would be a good one as well. Both of you are young and upcomers. Do you like that one, Kent?
Yeah, that works well with Ken, and that might be like maybe you had been sort of backstage earlier, sort of pulling some strings back there along with whoever else Lowell sneaks in there.
Yeah.
That's a neat idea. Okay.
I like it.
Who is my protege? Who am I helping along, teaching the tricks of the trade? And Huxley, that might fit. Again, you're a younger one, but anybody out there, I'm older than dirt, so
Huxley or our Benson, I think.
I might, yeah, like behind the stage, like yeah, I might be the one who comes to you for advice.
I like it. Cool.
Do we both gain 1 heat then, or is just Benson gains the heat? Just you gain the heat.
Yeah, it's asymmetrical.
Okay.
So yeah, it's my setup. Who is undercutting me?
Oh, that's me. I fucking hate you. You're like you represent the kind of person that in reality created the sub pig. Oh yeah.
Perfect. All right. And who has no respect for all the work I put into this company?
I'll take that one.
Excellent. And those are my heat questions, and I'll set myself up.
I like it. So we got those recorded, and you'll record the +1 heat for faces, or for any of the heels. And we will come to Houston Huxley. Let's go through your heat questions.
Yes. Okay. Who have I approached about improving my ring work?
I'll take that. Clarabelle is pretty much a shoot fighter. So spent time on the legitimate MMA circuit. Given the crossover between the weightlifting circuit and powerlifting circuit there,
Sounds good to me. Yeah. Who was a fan of mine before I started wrestling?
Who
follows college track, I guess.
I could see me, where do you come from?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, I don't know, a Yankee. But I might really have respected the idea of you as an athlete and been kind of a fan of what you were doing out there. That fits with my old athlete status.
All right.
But sort of somewhat disappointed when he came in and started to make noise here in the ring.
Dissing me up, yeah.
All right. What's your next one?
Right. Who refuses to acknowledge that I have a place on this roster?
And it can be somebody who already has heat with you or not. It's up to you. Anybody? A strong feeling about that?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Repeat the question, please.
Who refuses to acknowledge that I have a place on this roster?
Well, that wouldn't be me.
It might be me, because it's more out of jealousy. Like, I don't want you here because I want to make it.
Because sounds good to me.
That's perfect.
Benson, right? And who appreciates the athleticism that I bring to the ring?
I appreciate that. Sure. In fact, like I think, I look out for the young kids, and I think you've got the tools, and the problem is you're too willing. You're giving into these bookers too easily, and that you've got to be molded, but you've got all the raw talent.
Perfect. Is that your last one?
Yeah, that's the last one.
Perfect.
Have heat with the faces marked. Do I take heat with the unnamed icon wrestler?
Yes, you will take heat with the
for being
unnamed
an icon.
icon wrestler as well.
Okay.
Which brings us to Benson. What are your heat questions?
All right. Who is terrified of me backstage?
See, Ken will take that one. He doesn't know what to make of you yet.
Okay.
Maybe you try to maintain your that weird face mask thing, like you wear that around backstage because you think you're supposed to or something.
Yeah, I think he does, and he doesn't really talk to me. Like his whole character gimmick is pretty silent. So I think he just sort of glowers at you.
Or I think he does because I can't see through the mask. It's
Yeah. Nice.
All right. Who helps me come up with new directions for my character?
I'll take that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's how I managed to convince management to have you join the Bleakwood family in the first place. So
Yep. Who's made me look weak? Houston, do you want to take that one? Maybe you beat me, and that's one of the reasons.
I think that works. I'll take that.
Speed kills, especially against a big man.
Who can stand up to me in the ring?
Well, I can stand up to you in the ring, pal. In fact, I don't know if you want to get in the ring with me.
Okay, and that's my last question.
Awesome. Which brings us to Subpig Fahrenheit
All right.
bug thing.
Where did the character sheet go? All right, here it is. So there we are. Who's jealous of my devoted fan base? And I'm an icon. I've got a big fan base at this point.
I think Kent will take that one. Like that's one of the things he really wants. He really wishes he could get because right now most of his fans are like proxy fans. Or at least that's what he thinks right now. Like you've got people that will follow you no matter how many weird gimmick shifts you do. Like they will follow you around in particular, and that drives him a little bit batty.
All right. Who's returned from an injury I gave them?
Ooh.
I think that's got to be me.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, that's why I've been absent from the road shows and everything, and I'm finally able to, after years of months of old man recuperation, get back in the ring, and I probably hate that.
That's right, and it wasn't an accident either. That's what they call shooting on the square. All right.
You have one more, right?
Two more.
Two more.
Who beat me bloody most recently?
Ooh.
I'll take that. In fact, it was the last session of season 2.
That's right.
That's
I
right.
almost ended your career.
You're responsible for this mess in a lot of ways, huh?
Oh yes.
All right. And who can take everything I can dish out?
Interesting.
I know it's a terrifying question to try to answer because probably no one can.
I'll take that one, and that's why I think we had a match that just went really long. As you just You stood up to me, and I just kept getting beat silly by you.
Perfect. Okay.
And the way we played Icon is I get nothing with anybody, right?
So no, you will still get, because they're all considered your opposite. They're getting heat with you, and you're getting heat with them.
All right, cool. Better than last time.
So let's do this. See, don't say that. Then I'll go, oh wait, did I do it the other way last time? Okay.
Well, I know you know. I never really read the rule book, so
yeah. All right. So, and then let's do that. And then let's do that. And then let's do that. And if we have time, we'll do that. So I am right now booking the show, is what I am doing. So just to tell you what goes on. So how this works is the sequence of the session is going to go like this: is we're going to take a little earlier than I usually would, a 5-minute break. I'm going to think about the booking. We're going to come back. When we come back, we're going to kind of have people do the highlight previously on. Then we're going to set up the first match. We're going to play that out. In between matches, or even during the matches, we can do backstage things. If people have scenes that they want to carry out and things, we can do that in between, preferably after we do that first match, so we get some things into play. And that'll give us a chance. I'm going to have 2 of our returning people do that first match, so that James and Alex, you can see kind of how that plays out. And that is the plan. So we're going to take 5 when we come back. Yes.
Oh, before you go, just it's not exactly a beginning of session move, but it probably could be tagged as that barium, since it will affect your booking. Would you like for me to do that before you go into booking or not?
Oh, no, I'm going to book it. Cool. And when we come back, you're going to make that roll, and we'll see how you screw with my booking. Okay. Excellent. So that'll be even better. So take 5 and we'll come back, everybody.
Hey, Jerwin. Would it be all right if Benson used the same sort of intro music as Clarabelle? Like,
Yeah.
he just...
Yeah, not a problem at all.
Like, I think his character really is like, his character is like set up in a subservient role to you.
That works. I can see there can be a lot of story built around that as well, which can set up quite nicely for a face turn for yourself later. Or
yeah, I think the storyline that came in with is he's supposed to get his soul back, and he's hoping that he can get his soul back, and then he can switch.
Okay, should we say that his soul's actually in a physical item?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what should we have it be? A ring or a box or something that I carry to the ring?
Yeah, would you like it as something you pull out and show, or maybe like a ring on your hand, and if you pull it out, like the things he obeys your commands?
Yeah, that works.
That's a cool concept.
Yeah. James, Alex, I don't know how much you know wrestling. Do you know wrestling at all?
A little bit.
Okay.
I had a friend that was really into it, so I learned some of it through osmosis.
That's like me and Matt, because I knew nothing about wrestling before I started playing Worldwide Wrestling. So just to tell you that.
Nice.
So,
okay. Yeah, I know some of the famous names. I don't really know from the different types of matches or different moves.
okay.
I kind of used Bo Dallas as a starting point for Houston Huxley, because he's a big fan of that guy.
Okay. James, how much do you know?
I know the basics.
Okay, good.
I know enough that I can sit down and watch wrestling, but I usually stop and ask whoever I'm watching with it questions.
Yeah, no, I think that's perfect. That's I come in, you just kind of describe the stuff you think is cool, and we play from there. So we are going to get started, and we come in here. Gauntlet League Wrestling is back in Gauntlet City. They've established some things. We've got the booking for the show now. Who is currently over of our wrestlers?
No one, because we've all reset our audience.
Right. So we don't even do the over move. I love that. So right now, we have tags and troubles for the promotion. The promotion's in pretty good space. Some of the financial issues have fallen off. They've got some people out now doing a big touring road show. Some of the wrestlers from the roster have gone out, and they're going around to smaller venues and promotions and doing kind of an invasion angle there. But we're coming here in Gauntlet League Wrestling, and we're going to do essentially the quick last week on kind of thing in just a moment here, where people are going to describe, a scene that we saw of the wrestler either on camera, that we would have seen in the game, or make up something. We'll come to that. But we do have a start a session move that we're going to get what they call the swerve now, as Tyler is going to mess up all my plans. So Tyler, let's look at that thing, the barium move. You're going to be rolling with real. Now we have a roll for your party, everybody, and it is at just underneath the sort of main part of the character sheets, just under injury moves. You'll find that there. So let's go ahead and have you roll, Mad Dog.
All right. And I think I've come back there to talk to Wolf about how these sort of things are going on. And let me click.
Who are you targeting? Who
Yeah.
are you targeting?
Yeah. Wolf, I got to tell you, I was gone all this time, and you nearly had your honey in a handbasket, buddy. It was rough on you. This place was like a madhouse. Thank God I'm back. Ain't that right, Wolf? I know you say the same thing. Thank God I'm back.
Yeah, that's exactly what yeah, absolutely.
This Huxley boy, now he seems like he's got some talent, but he ain't gone nearly through the rough yet. He's going to have to be tempered. You got to give him some sort of experience. That's what a man needs, experience. And so I'll roll.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a 10.
Okay. On a 10 plus, you book their next segment.
Well, there's only one way a man can get respect in this Gauntlet League. He's got to be thrown in the pig pen, Wolf. That's what happens. You know, you put him in there, let the pig get a hold of him a little while. And it might even be good for Pig. You know, I love him so. Such a good guy. Such a good guy.
Are you serious? I mean, do you know what you're asking? I mean, this is.
The kid's fast. I fought him. He'll run around. He'll tire that old bastard out. And by the end, heck, we might even get a little wrestling match in.
Well, I'm glad to have you back, so I guess we can do that.
Wolf, you my man. You my man. Got to come by the trailer. I got some Jack Daniels.
Yeah. So we're going to cut to the previously on. So if we come sort of in our order up here, Clarabelle, what is the previously on that we see from you?
I think it's that great big ladder match we had at the last event. And I think it was all this back and forth between myself and Kent during that. Kent constantly trying to climb the ladder and me spotting him up there and moving up to basically pull him down each time, only to have the heavy metal come out and actually then slam me off at the end. And then me just clearing, just basically as I'm walking up the ramp towards the stage at the top, there's just a tight focus shot from behind of me staring at Kent. So
yeah, so absolutely you have we see that feud on screen. Kent, what about you? What do we see from you from the previously on or the highlight package? What do we see for that?
I think we're seeing a lot of the same things, just from different angles. Like it's kind of like one of those like viewpoint shots. Like as you saw Clarabelle like staring up, just like daggers in death, up into the ring. You see on Kent's end of things, you see him and his buddy almost make it, and then his buddy got taken out, and you see Clarabelle get taken out, and you see Kent managing to knock the Kraken out over the top rope, who was the last remaining guy in the match, and then make his climb up and seize the briefcase.
Perfect. And that is the thing.
He's the treasure chest.
Yeah.
Treasure chest, I mean, sorry.
Yeah. You have the treasure chest. So at any point, you can call for a particular match. So that is in the cards. That is your money in the bank there. Wayne Mad Dog Matthews, when we actually see your sort of the package, you've been off for a while. So what's the package that we see?
I think we see an old footage of him taking Ric Flair, Ric Flair's off the top rope twin slam over where he puts him on into the ring. We see a match with him and Greg Valentine trading the blows. We see him and Cyber Destroyer doing the pound back and forth before he picks up Cyber Destroyer for a little carryover slam. And then we see the crowd cheering and screaming for him as he's rubbing the face of probably like Dr. Explosiones. Is that
yes.
Down the thing and holding the ref back, kind of giving that smile he gives as the crowds are cheering for him, going a little dirty.
Okay. I like that. Taking on one of our Lady Luchas and humiliating her is sort of the switches that you've had in your career. Let's come to Houston Huxley. What do you suppose we're going to see on the Gauntlet-tron before the matches start? What's the package? What do we see?
Yeah, I don't think I actually described what he looks like at all.
Yeah.
in the character keeper, I have this picture of Taye Diggs, and he's wearing this nice sweater, dark blue sweater, and white shorts. And when he comes out, he takes the sweater off, basically.
It's perfect. And what do you see? What kind of images do we see? Like bits from his college career, or do we see some wrestling things? What do we see on the jumbotron?
Oh yeah, I think it's a combination of like shots of him like going through the finish line on a race at first place, and shots of him and his like. Wrestling back in Milwaukee, just running around the competition and demonstrating his speed and athleticism.
Perfect. Some YouTube footage mixed in with the sort of the real quality stuff there.
Yeah. Yes. So half of it is like pretty grainy, but
yeah, I like it. Benson, what do you suppose the package we see for you is?
So I'm not sure Benson gets his own headline here.
Okay. So more of the Clarabelle stable kind of thing? Yeah,
you see him in the Clarabelle stable. So you sort of see him in the background there. Like he's sort of in the background looming there. Maybe in part of Clarabelle's package, there's a part there where he's like clearing paparazzi out of her way, like opening the car door for her.
I like that. And Sub Fahrenheit doesn't get a video package because that's intended to be a surprise. Am I right on that, Matt?
Yeah, I had something really bizarre planned if you were going to do it, but no, that works fine.
So we are going to start out, and they will come back to you, Houston. They'll say, hey, we're doing a little bit of a booking on the fly, so we were going to have you come out start, but we're going to have you hold off. You worked through how to do the audibles in the ring.
Yeah.
Okay. So
sorry,
if anything goes really bad, you know how to call out, how to mark out that if you get hurt, you know all that procedure.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay, good.
Yeah, this sounds great. Who you got me going up against?
I'm going to have to talk to Wolf. He has the details on that, but we'll come back to you in a bit.
All right. Thanks.
So we are going to start out, and our first match is actually going to be Wayne Mad Dog Matthews versus Benson. Oh
my.
So Mad Dog, what we do before a match is we typically throw to each of the wrestlers, and they get a chance to cut a promo if they want. And they can talk about what kind of promo it is. And both people do their promos, and then we talk about their entrances, and we get to the wrestling. So Mad Dog, is it a pre-tape package, or do we see Victoria Onyx back there with a mic, or we have an interview segment? What do we see?
I think we've got Victoria Onyx with an interview scene. And I think, we see her there standing in front of the logo with her mic, and she's kind of looking around like she's expecting someone. But then we hear that down of Sweet Home starting, and in comes right, yeah, a few notes off, and he comes walking in, and how as he moves up to Victoria.
Mad Dog, we're very excited to have you back here at the Gauntlet City Arena, the newly revamped. We understand that you and some of our other return superstars will be returning now that we've got things set up. Can you tell us about how you feel about this match? How do you feel about Clarabelle's stable of monsters, for lack of a better word?
Well, pretty late, don't you worry. The Mad Dog is here to lay out a yard you can feel safe in. I'm gonna go in there. They brought in, what the hell they calling him? Lurch. I have whooped down boys twice that size. 10-footers, I tell you. My career is long and storied. And I'll tell you something else, Victoria. I'm the man who stood up to Andre. Took him 20 minutes to beat me. 20 minutes! This guy's a nothing. And that Clarabelle with her dark stories. Woo! They can't stand the light of day when the dog comes barking. Oh!
All right. Let's have you roll look for your cut of promo. Let's see how it lands with the audience.
All righty. Well, my look is maybe not my best thing. Let's see real quick. It's a 0. That's close to my best thing.
Yeah.
I got another 10.
Got another 10.
And
so,
I know it's real because the dice switched.
Yeah, the audience are excited. They know that you're coming back. They've heard that Stan the Percolator Steiger's coming back, that some of the big names are coming back. There's rumors that there might be some other people, other fan favorites out there. So when we look at that basic move, cut a promo, you connect with the audience, you get a momentum, and you get to pick one from the 7 to 9 list.
Yes. Here we are. So, cut the promo, picking one. I'm going to grab that heat.
That makes sense. So raise your heat with Benson by 1.
Thank you.
Benson, what do you imagine your promo is? Is this something backstage? Is it a pre-taped thing? What do you imagine that is like?
So this is a pre-taped thing.
Okay.
It comes in. There's like a misty lot here, a misty lot, and it's obvious he's here in a graveyard and he's digging a grave. And it's all the way down there. He's digging out the grave, and he looks up, sort of where the camera is coming, and he looks over. He just sort of makes eye contact with the camera, and then he looks over, and you can see Mad Dog is written on the gravestone there, and it has the date and the time of their match just carved right into it, and it just curves over to that, and then it just comes back to Benson, and he just looks back down and starts shoveling again.
Perfect. That's still cut a promo. That's a nice effect. What is your look?
My look is a negative, but I got a thing here. When I'm out of the ring, I can roll plus power for my for the look.
Ooh. Okay.
And I still managed to roll a 5 with a plus 3.
So that's wait, did you roll
I rolled snake eyes.
All right. So with that, that doesn't land particularly well. Like it doesn't land well at all. And when you are coming up, like while that tape is rolling, you're kind of rushing along because you haven't been back here at the Gauntlet's, city arena. So for a while, so you run and you knock this guy down and knock him on his butt. And you look at him and you realize that this is Stan the Percolator Steiger. He is a former multi-time champion for Gauntlet League Wrestling. And he looks at your gimmick and he looks at you and he goes, "You're one of Clarabelle's goons, aren't you?"
Oh yeah. Hey, sorry about that. I didn't see you there. Let me help you up.
Didn't see me there? What? I'm too small for you, you big lumbering goon?
No, I'm just. I need to be there now. I really don't want to be late. Like.
Yeah. You don't want to be late. All right.
Can you show me? Where do we need to be here for call?
And he just does that gesture, and he's clearly furious with you, and raises his hand and sends you on your way.
Oh.
You can tell you have made a backstage enemy.
Oh, damn. I should have told him how much I liked him growing up. That was my opportunity.
So tell me, Mad Dog, what does your entrance look like? We cut to that.
All right, we've got Mad Dog again. We get the strains across Sweet Home, and we have he does with Crimson Lights. He's still calling back to the football days of a good probably 30 years ago. And as he comes out, he's got his Crimson Tide jersey on, and underneath it he's got the tasseled white wrestling boots, cowboy style. He still wears the Speedo. So he's got the trunks on. But so as he comes out, and he's how to the crowd, and the crowd howing back because they remember old Mad Dog, and he'll just come trotting straight down. I don't know if I have a cheap heat on that. I may just be coming straight down. Maybe work the audience.
Do you want to tell me what you're doing to really work the audience? How is it you're selling your gimmick to do that?
I'll be doing the hands down the side, and I will definitely have picked up a kid and given him the lift up and brought him over to the other side of the gate so I could do the fake elbow drop to him. Okay, he's a tough one, kid. He's a tough one. Put him on back in.
Let's have you roll with audience.
All right. I rolled an 11.
What is with you tonight? So the crowd pop. They go nuts for this. Momentum. It is off the charts. The stadium is kind of shaking. Clearly a lot of old school fans in the audience tonight. Okay. They bringing the thunder there. You come and when that music cuts out, what is Benson's entrance like? What music do we hear? What do we see as you come down into the ring?
So it's the same music as like the Clarabelle family music. So it's the same one that comes in here. The promo's a little different though. He doesn't actually have his own promo like they play at the top screen, where they flash images of like each person that's kind of like in the stable. Like,
okay,
he shares it with everyone else. And it starts playing there, and he's not there to be seen. Like, and it goes probably 20 seconds. And then he starts running down the stage, and he just runs down and slides into the ring. Like, he was not in position ready to go when this started. So you just see him booking it. He just books right down, and he dives underneath the bottom row and into the ring.
That seems perfect. So I think that you're a little off balance. Mad Dog is going to start in control of the match. So the way this works is someone is going to be on the announcer table. They're going to do as they wish. They can interrupt to do play-by-play commentary. They can also put over a wrestler or both wrestlers, depending on how they wish. That means that raises a success level. So if you rolled a fail, they could push up to a partial hit. If you rolled a partial hit, they could push it up to a full hit. And so that's one of our other players gets to do that. Does anybody have a strong feeling about wanting to do the announce table? Gerwin, Matt?
Yeah, I was going to say, can I actually have Clarabelle on the announce?
Sure, absolutely. As a kind of a biased commentator there?
Yep.
Okay. So we've got you on that. Now, for those of you who aren't on stage, if you want to, you can narrate watching. We can cut to that. The other option is there is a run-in move. If you think it fits with your storyline, there is a move to kind of come in and interfere with the match. That happens from time to time. Just know that that's out there as a tool. So Benson has come into the ring, and Mad Dog a little late, off his timing, off his mark. You started to control the match. All
right. Well, then, as he's coming in and doing the big slide in and a little off pace, I think, I've been, taking the audience, but I see him come running in. And as he does that slide, I think I'm going to put the big boot to rush right to the back of the head. Just smack as he comes in. Okay. Now I'll turn around, look, and I'm going to lean down and pick him up. And as I pick him up, I'm like, you okay, kid? You ready to go?
Yeah. I got this. Let's go.
And, keeping in mind, we've worked together. You're kind of my protege. So he's going to go, all right, boy. Now, remember, I don't like going more than about 6 minutes. And make sure I land on the left hip. Left hip. Always the left hip. All right. Okay, let me get on you a little bit now, son. And I'll just start laying into those elbows, a kick to the gut, do a flashy headbutt, and then into the Irish whip cross. And as he comes in, I'm going to do the back elbow, and I'll do the spin around and hopefully drop him. I don't know. He may be deciding to no self. That's cool, too.
He is a giant. So tell me, what do you want to think that's work, or is this something that you guys have worked on, which we roll with heat, or...
I think this is probably just me going through with something I've done a billion times before.
Let's have you roll work.
All right. And here the dice will fail me. No, I rolled boxcars.
What the what, Tyler? So, Tyler, do you want to spend all your momentum?
Oh, well, oh, yes. Oh, heck yeah. I need an iconic moment. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So here's the deal is if you roll boxcars, if your end roll is a 13 or better, or you roll natural boxcars, you get an iconic moment, meaning that it's like something that goes into the books. So tell me, this goes in your highlight reel. What is it that happens that is awesome?
If it sounds good for you, Lurch, I mean, you're big sized. I don't want to, take away your decision as a big guy, but I think that I do that back elbow and I kind of catch you kind of coming up so that it catches you in the chin, and you're younger and sprier than me. You actually do a nice backslide so that you actually slide down. So it really gives that lift as you come over, and I'll do the dance around to coming off of it like it was a really huge hit, selling it. Look at the elbow, look back down, smile to the crowd.
Now you've got you got a choice that replaces your standard wrestling thing here at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You can on the iconic thing, you can have yourself now booked to win the match. You can steal the show and gain an audience. You can do your job and give your opponent an audience. Or you can upstage someone, say who comes out to interfere with the match, and you both gain +1 heat with each other.
I think I'm gonna take the audience.
That does seem like the right choice to make. Now you've spent all your momentum at this point.
I have.
Okay. So let me tell you, James, you start with 1 momentum.
Yep.
You can spend momentum after you roll to boost a roll, or you can spend it to interrupt, take control of the match. He just got his iconic moment. He spent all his momentum. He's basking in the glory of that. So you now have control of the match.
Okay, so what I think happens here is Benson goes down and he hits the mat hard, right, to make that big thunder sound. And he just lies, he sort of lies there like he's out, sort of, helping him sell that iconic moment. And
sorry, can I just Clarabelle will stand up, raise the ring up in the air.
Yeah, and when Clarabelle stands up and holds up that ring is when Benson just gets up, and Mad Dog is still sort of partying. He's still sort of celebrating it, and he just gets up and he comes over like a shadow from behind. And you see Annabelle, it brings her hand down, and when she does, Benson just clobbers him.
Nice. Do you think that's is that just a good standard work, or it actually looks like it might be even showcasing your gimmick?
Yeah, I think this is power, maybe, because he's just
okay. Yeah, if you want, that seems great. So go ahead and roll with power.
But he's just doing, a big blow to the back.
Just big showcase hit.
All right, I rolled a 12.
12.
So that's a 15.
Yeah. So it's too bad that he stole your thunder, because only one person could have an iconic moment. But you hit it great. Like, the audience loves it. You're going to keep control of the match. And do you want 2 momentum, or do you want to gain heat with your opponent?
You know what? Well, let's gain. Let's take 2 momentum at this point. So
okay.
That gives him. All right. So he just clubs Mad Dog, and he just hits him hard in the back, right? And he goes down, and you just see him come down like boom, doing these power hits down on him. and he's hitting them. You know, it looks like he's punching him. He's really just sort of hitting the mat, sort of near him. And he says, oh, "What do I do next, Mad Dog? What's next?"
Well, I appreciate the rest, but you probably need to get me up and maybe throw me a little bit. Remember, left hip.
All right, up and over, and then he's gonna now, and then he picks him up. You know, he's gonna pick him up to try to go into like this, you know, just up and over, down onto his left side.
Perfect. You coordinated with him. That seems like you're working out a sequence. So I'm gonna have you roll your heat with Mad Dog.
Okay. Okay, so I got an 8.
An 8. So you got a choice. You can keep control, or you can give Mad Dog control and take a momentum.
You know, he'll put him down. You know, he slams him down there on his left side, and then he comes over. Right, he comes over and he just wrenches his leg up. Right, and at that point, when he pulls that leg up, I'm going to take the momentum and turn control over.
Okay, he's got a hold of your leg. You're on your left hip there.
I'm selling. Oh, I'm clawing towards the ropes, and as I get close, he probably does a stand up, push me back. I'll do a claw back over and finally get that break. Referee pulls him inside. I stand up. I'm gimping on the leg, and Lurch is sort of standing there, dangerous and large. I'll come in and we'll do the actual collar tie up. So I lean in and say, "Okay, I'm gonna get a few off on you, son." And
don't hold back. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
I like hearing that. So in the collar tie-up, he's going to throw me, and I'm going to do the kind of fall back to the corner. And so as he advances, I'll do the kick up right into the gut, standing myself up in that turnbuckle, go up to the first rope, because that's about as far as I like going, and come down with that elbow. And I think from the elbow, I don't know if that's quite up to a move. I think from the elbow, I'll get a stagger, though. And I will get him turned around and go for a running bulldog. It's probably not a finisher set, but it is going to try and show the move I do.
All right. Does that sound like work, or is that your look?
I think that's work. I'm still, it's doing that work bit.
Got several pieces there. That makes sense.
7, 8.
Okay. Now you got that choice. Do you want to keep control or hand control and take a momentum?
I think I need the momentum at this point.
Oh, yeah. How is it that he takes control?
Answer to me?
Yeah. How is it that you kind of lose control?
I think then as I go into the bulldog, he does the push off. So I end up actually going chest into the corner turnbuckles and not getting off the bulldog. I think instead he did the push off to manage to keep from being hit by my big move sort of thing. And as I hit it, I'll do the in the corner and maybe even a bounce back to leave him for him to wail on me.
Okay. Go ahead.
That's what you get when you get the Bleakwood in there. We don't recruit the scum. We always go for the cream of the crop. And
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Benson, kill him. Kill him.
And Benson does this over-exaggerated sort of nod. Nod is an acknowledgement there. And he's going to come up and grab you by the arm, and he'll whip you across. So it's trying to whip you to the other things. So you can bounce back, and he'll just try to level you out here with the clothesline.
Does that sound like straight power here?
Okay.
I'm asking you, what do you think it is? Or is it more your work? You're trying to kind of actually coordinate with him a little bit.
You know, I think this is actually more work, because he's actually he's trying to pull the move off the way that Mad Dog had showed him in practice.
Yeah, you're trying to be his protege. Let's have you roll with it.
All right. My work is a -1, so that is a 4.
That is a 4.
Yep.
So you get countered. You give one of your momentum to Mad Dog. They take control of the match. And
We got an idea of the book.
Well, I think here is what is going to happen, Mad Dog, as you are kind of coming up from that, is you will hear the you'll hear it's time for the percolator music, and you will see come running down and leaps up into the audience. Stand Percolator Steiger, former multi-belt champion, and he comes in and he lays you out, Benson, and it kind of drops you to the ground like hard, like you weren't even there, and kind of stands there, looks at you, Mad Dog, and he's clearly like trying to bury this. I mean, it's going to end in a DQ. What would you do, Mad Dog?
Okay, was he giving the we're together or the I got you?
He's looking at you because you're the person that he takes seriously, at least a little bit.
Is he a face or heel?
You don't know yet. You tell me where he's at.
Oh,
He just came in and beat up a face, but who's also a giant. So this could go either way. He's been out for a while. Tell me whether it comes back as a face or heel.
Okay, I think he's coming back as a face.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna look over at him, sort of look back to the crowd. Arr! Hope the crowd gives a little bit because he's a Bleakwood stooge. They're the naughtiest of the naughty, and so I think me and Percolator start putting the boot into him. But as we get close, I'm like, Stan, lay off the kid. Lay off the kid. Watch your foot. And I'm trying to keep my foot from where I'm betting Stan is probably really putting the boot in.
Okay. So yeah, he is. I mean, he is trying to maybe legit do some hurt.
Is this like a break kayfabe? Am I? Because I'm legitimately trying to protect Lurge.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to break kayfabe.
All right. Then I'll roll that reel, which is not my best one. I got an 8, and my reel is a 0. Okay, so that's an 8.
Okay, on 7 and 9, you blur the line. You gain 2 momentum, and the created books you in a punitive match. You lose -1. You lose a heat with someone, or you lose someone's support backstage.
That's your decision, right?
No, you get to pick that.
I think I've lost somebody's support backstage.
I think Percolator, you push Percolator back, and like he's one of the big names, and you shove him back, and he hits that ring post, and it kind of feels it. And Clarabelle, you'll hear from backstage. You need to shut this down, Clarabelle.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to run into the ring and drag Benson out.
Benson, what's your reaction to all this?
What the hell? What the hell was that? That's not what we planned.
Percolator's across the ring. Clarabelle's up by you.
Calm down.
Let me get one shot at him.
Character.
Character.
I'm going to slap him across the face and make it.
And with that, he'll snap back into character. He'll just stand up real straight, like almost like waiting orders. He's like snap back into who he's supposed to be.
You fail me. Now get back there.
And
you will see him go down. Like he goes down on one knee, and then he fully submerges, like all the way into like a face to the floor bow before Clarabelle, before sort of picking him up.
While he's down on the floor, I'll kneel down and make it look like I'm actually screaming abuse at him, and go, get to the back. We'll sort it out later.
And he'll do that, and then he will stand up. He'll just sort of stand up, not look around at all. Just stand up very rigidly and just make his way just straight to the back. As soon as he's in the back, away from there, you just see him. Oh fuck! Oh shit! Like he just sort of completely loses the character once he's in the backstage.
And I think I'm trying to like get in on Stan and get him, held up enough. come on, boy, we got to raise up the audience watching. Come on, come on. And try and lift his arm up so we could take the accolades rather than him keep getting mad.
He has that kind of clenched teeth, like he's still really, really pissed. But he'll raise the arm up, and they will be able to. At
that point, I'm gonna have a go at Stan.
Ooh.
Given what he's done, and given my form and what I do to people who do that.
Okay.
So
let's give it straight where we're at, so we know where the positioning is right now. Right now, Mad Dog is kind of raising the arm and the accolade. We've got that resolved out. You were moving Benson up the way to get him out of there. So coming running back.
I'm coming running back to the ring and going straight for Stan.
Okay, then tell me what happens.
I don't have enough momentum at the moment to actually do a heel move to lay him out, which is what I normally do. So I get in there and I basically just bust up the two of them holding their hands up, and I effectively just break that all up, and it devolves into a pull apart brawl.
Okay, yeah, and Steiger's solid. I mean, he's been here a long time, and he's a solid wrestler. So there'll be that kind of exchange of blows that kind of sells the heel babyface thing. And if you're not doing the full move, they will pull you guys apart. But you've made that symbolic action. Does that seem fair?
That's fine. Yes.
Okay. And what's your final take on that, Mad Dog?
I think if she came in, I probably met with Stan. As she came in to start wailing on him, I probably did trying to yank him apart, maybe even took a shot towards Clara. But then, I'm imagining it's a schmoz. It's like people are coming running in. So I think we'll see me kind of holding back Stan a little bit from Clara as I'm leaning in, talking about like, Stan, you got to calm down, buddy, now. And then as she's cleared out, doing the give a howl for the crowd to hopefully save this spot. People going nuts. I don't like this sort of shit.
And that sounds perfect. And we will cut on that match there. Did either of you have 4 heat with anybody, with one another who was involved? No? Okay. That makes sense. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on. We're going to get set up for that next match. And I'm going to check in and see if anybody has any backstage things that they want to do. So this match right now, the next one, just before we go into kind of talking about what people are going to do, is going to be, let's see, Houston Huxley. And they're going to put Houston Huxley versus Outback Thunder. He's not a big name. He's one of the lower card people. You're a little surprised that they they delayed the match for this and put him in, but Outback Thunder will come in and we'll talk to you, Huxley, and be like, all right, then I guess we're calling it on the fly then, are we?
I guess. I mean, you're going down, but yeah.
Well, we'll see about that, son. But yeah, I think that's probably what it's it's supposed to squash me on this one. We'll see. But it's good. Okay. I get the paycheck either way.
I feel that sure it'll be a great match either way.
Yeah, that's all good. We'll go have a beer afterwards.
Yeah.
Like a real beer. Not like American beers, Hey,
I'm from Wisconsin. We know beer.
That's debatable. And he will walk off.
It's not debatable.
Anybody want to do anything you want to do backstage or off screen or talking with characters, things like that? Let me check in with the people who haven't done much. So let me start with you, Chris. Is there anything that you want to have scene wise, or anybody you want to talk to for our Kent Reed?
I think Kent is. I think given what just went on, I think Kent might want to touch base backstage with Clarabelle about the later tonight's setup.
Okay. So where do you think you and Clarabelle would meet up? Are we on or off camera?
I think at this point we're off camera.
Okay. Off camera backstage. Where do you find her?
I think she and Benson are in maybe like the sort of like break room / conference room area.
Okay.
Kind of like, calming Benson down, and she's calming Benson down, and they're trying to sort out what the heck was going on out there with the percolator.
What's the nicest thing in the break room? Like what's the thing clearly somebody spent some money on for the break room?
I think there is a really, really nice coffee maker setup.
Okay.
Like you can make a cappuccino back there.
Okay. They got a nice coffee maker back there. All right. So Benson, Clarabelle, Kent, you can all have a little convo here.
What? So someone find me back house. What the hell is going on here?
What? That wasn't what we had planned. Like the script said, this was supposed to be my moment here. I don't know what happened.
No,
guys, what was that out there? What the heck is going on with the percolator?
I have no idea what's got into him. That wasn't on the book.
Like, is something else going on with, like, are they trying to set up some sort of big Bleakwood feud? Like, are they doing something with our thing? I mean, what's?
No, not as far as I'm aware. Benson, have they said anything about this to you?
No, nothing. I ran into Stan in the back, like actually ran into him. And then I didn't ask for his autograph. Maybe that's why he's upset. I don't get this, but this was supposed to be my moment here, and they're not cutting me. That's not why he was sent in, is it? I'm still gonna have a job next week.
No, you're gonna have a job. We brought you in. You're here to stay, mate. You're one of us.
That's a relief. Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. He wasn't pulling his punches at all. I mean, look at this. And he's gonna pull up his shirt. I assume this is a non-camera thing, right?
Yeah, we're off camera.
Yeah, and he pulls up his shirt, he's actually bruising up from where Stan Percolator had stomped on him.
No, then that's serious. Percolator knows how to wrestle. He knows how to perform. He did that shit straight up. Oh, man.
It's not professional. It's not professional in any way, shape, or form.
No, I don't know. So how are we going to come back from this? How do I get back in the ring again, Clarabelle?
Well, you're going to be driving my coach later.
All right.
So we've got the horses from the racetrack over the way. We've got some black horses for the coach. So you're going to be at ringside for my match tonight, for our match tonight.
All right.
But I need to talk to someone about this. Ken, can I borrow your phone?
Yeah, here you go.
And I'm going to disappear outside.
Okay. And Kent's going to keep basically, talking down Benson, I think, because Kent feels like he's been on the receiving end of some of this weird veteran heat before. So he's like, look, he's one guy. You're right. He's probably pissed off about the bump backstage. Like, a lot of the older guys can get really shitty about that. And
well, thanks. I mean, that means a lot coming from someone like you. You're like the real icon in the ring right now. I mean, I really kind of wish I could be like you here.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm still a low guy on the totem pole. I've gotten pretty lucky.
Yeah, but you got like a championship run coming up here. You're going to be like the top guy in the next season.
I'd like to think that's the case, but I've learned that things are in flux a lot around here. But what's not in flux is Clarabelle knows her stuff. She's got some pull. She's working for you. You're good.
All right. Well, thanks.
And right then, the sub pig walks into the room.
Okay.
This is the actor, not the character. He says, "Can't let people treat you like that. If I was you, I'd fuck him up."
But that's not in the script.
Yeah, it's not in the script. You think what he did was in the script? But he's going to get away with it because you let him. I fought you. You're tough. But none of the boys are going to think you are if you let them beat you up like that. What's going to happen if you just were to smash his face against the urinal back here? What's going to happen to you?
Is this like prison rules here, Ken? Like,
No, whoa. Listen, man. Look, here. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. This guy could probably get away with pulling that stuff. He's got dedicated folks out there that ride with him no matter what. And you know this guy. I mean, he can't get away with the same stuff that you can. Just like the veterans have a lot more pullback here, you've got people that are going to follow you wherever you go and however you ride.
I didn't always.
Yeah,
he's not Hulk Hogan. He's the percolator. His gimmick is coffee.
And when we look over at the machine, and it actually is the percolator.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we get that, but the guys had multiple championship runs. He's got pullback here, and Benson's just now getting his feet under him. Yeah, he's a monster. Sure, he could beat the living crap out of almost every guy back here. I mean, nobody's going to look at him and think he couldn't hang. That's not what's going to happen.
Hey, you do what you want. I'm just saying. Let's walk away.
I don't know. Maybe he's got a point, Ken.
You don't want to let him walk over you. So, work with Clarabelle, take him to task backstage, but you can't get away with whipping his ass like that. Clarabelle can probably lead you down in a good direction for this. If she takes you, because if you end up working stick with him next time you guys are in the ring, seriously, that might be the way to go. But don't pull the backstage violence stuff. Like that's gonna make even more trouble. Clarabelle knows how to deal with this stuff. She's dealt with it before. She dealt with it last season. She can help you deal with this stuff this season.
All right, that's good advice, Ken. Thanks for talking me out of doing something stupid.
Just be careful. You're new. You want to tread a little bit lightly until you get your feet under you. And it's not going to take you long because you got the look, man. You're big. You look scary as hell when you got that mask on. Honestly, I'm scared of you when you got that damn mask on. I don't know why you walk around creepy like that. Be careful and follow Clarabelle's lead. She's got you.
All right, that's great advice. Thanks, man. And I think that's the scene.
Yeah,
cool. Anything else we want to do before I cut to this next match?
Yes. Can I have a brief scene outside in the corridor?
A quick one.
Yeah. So first of all, I've got Kent's mobile here. I've got my mobile. I open my mobile phone, ring up my father. Dad, I just want to make sure you got the tickets for tonight.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant. It'd be great to see you in the audience. The comp ones, they're on the door for you. Okay.
T-shirt too. Merch.
It'll be great to see you. Talk to you later.
Okay.
At which point I'll then take out Kent's phone and text his father just to remind you that the tickets for tonight are on the door for you.
All right. I think we'll cut away from that. So Houston, tell me about your promo works. How would you work the audience here in your promo? What do we see?
I think it's like as simple as him like talking with someone and just like sort of being interviewed, but like more conversationally, just talking about
like maybe they've got the camera on you in the locker room as you're kind of sitting there talking like we're in a sports show kind of thing,
drink some Gatorade.
What is it you think, Houston, that you really bring to Gauntlet League Wrestling that others don't?
Well, I'm the best. Is I know I'm the best. Soon everybody's gonna know it. I don't know if I don't need one of those. I don't need to pretend to be a monster or anything like that. I know what I'm about. I'm about raw physical perfection.
And of course, they've got the shot. You've got you shot well, so your skin's kind of glistening.
Yeah.
You get the towel around, get the little bead of sweat there. Kind of do that smile to the camera.
You know, a lot of people were saying that like they're wasting my time putting me against Outback Thunder, but I don't think that's the case at all. Outback Thunder's a great guy. Really looking forward to seeing how this match goes.
Awesome. Let's have you roll look.
Yeah. That's an 8, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get to choose one of the following things. You can have creative book you in a match. You can add a stipulation to a match. You can gain momentum, or you can gain +1 heat with the subject of your promo. Given that we know that Outback Thunder is not going to be in that ring for long.
Yeah. Think I want to make a creative book me in a match.
Oh, what match do you want?
I want to go against Mad Dog. I want to go against someone worth my time.
Okay. I can make that happen. All right. And tell me what your entrance looks like.
Okay, so the music I put up, it's instrumental. It's really it's really upbeat, really energizing. A lot of brass and quick drums and just good chords. And so it's him. Houston is he comes out in his sweater, arms spread, and when he jumps over the rope into the ring, takes his sweater off and starts doing like stretches. While this like super upbeat music is going on.
Awesome. So we'll get you set. We see you in the ring. We get Outback Thunder there. Of course, he's got the Hogan hat and the Paul Hogan vest on, and there. Tyler, James, Chris, who wants to be the announce table?
I'll announce.
Okay. And Outback Thunder, comes in, and you guys will go back and forth for a bit. So Sub Pig or Sub Fahrenheit Pig or Fahrenheit Mr. Pig.
Yes, sir.
So, how do you break into this match?
I think I would actually let it start first.
Okay, so they are going. They lock up,
and while it's going on, out from under the ring, surprise, and he's got a microphone in his hand. And what city are we in?
Gauntlet City.
We're in Gauntlet City. Gauntlet City! I've got some good news for you. And some very, very bad news for them. Because not only is there a new competitor here tonight, but this is and he's going for cheap here.
Okay.
Hardcore match.
All right. So you're invoking your stipulation, creator, right?
I am.
And you may have your cheap heat for momentum. And Outback Thunder kind of stops and looks at you, Hudson or Houston, and goes, "I'd be real careful now. Just keep yourself tight, okay?"
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for once, Houston is actually like a little shook. He was not prepared for a hardcore match. Not prepared. He can't get a read on this guy. Like, you know, monsters he gets, but what is it? So I think he's sort of breaking that confidence.
Yeah, that's
confidence
perfect
for a sec, and then he takes a breath and stands to face Sub Pig and does the sort of
do the gesture. Outback Thunder does not do that. He in fact steps away from you when you do that gesture. Sub Pig, tell me how this match starts then.
All right. Well, he makes a gesture like that at Sub Pig. And Sub Pig, now borrowing from the theatrics of the Mr. Fahrenheit era, leans in and bites his fingers.
So that sounds like Look to me.
Yeah.
Doing a signature move.
I think that's Look. Where's the roller?
I tell you, this young wrestler here.
Right, so that is a 9.
Do you want to spend momentum to push that to a 10?
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay. So you hit it great. Like you bited his hands. You can take 2 more momentum or gain a heat with Houston. God.
basically the same name.
I will take the heat.
Okay. You still have control of the match then.
Right.
Tell me what that looks like. And how Houston, how do you react when he does that bite?
I think it's like he's just taken aback and he stumbles for a sec, and then but he recovers a little more quickly this time.
Okay.
Pulls his hand back, sort of shakes it out. But he's going to be like going at this more thoughtfully.
Okay. Getting yourself a more cautious defensive position now. Okay. Sub Fahrenheit Pig. I'm going to say it like 8 different ways.
That's good. That's the intention.
Yeah. How do you what comes next? What's the next sequence?
All right. So after the bite, he's a little dazed still. He picks him up, Irish whip into the corner, hard. Well, so you like hear and feel the ring shaking after it hits.
Outback Thunder gets in the way when you do that, takes the hit, drops down, and rolls out theatrically unconscious.
No!
Go on.
All right. So he looks at him, kind of shrugs, backs up, and runs in and does an avalanche onto I forgot your name. I'm sorry.
Houston
Huxley. And then leans in because the avalanche was gentle. It looked bad, but it was a soft touch. He leans in. I scared the shit out of you, didn't I?
Whose idea was this match?
Wasn't mine, but it'll get you over. Just go with it.
All right.
And he kind of has a wild look in his eye when he says that. And next thing you know, you're being thrown out of the ring.
That youngster been taken for the ride.
So what do you think that is, sub Fahrenheit?
That
Is
is
that work?
probably-
Is that power? Is that look? Or is it, I mean, is there a sense that you coordinated this?
No, I'm definitely just taking control. It's probably work.
Okay, then let's have you roll work.
All right, what's my work? It's probably not good. No, it's definitely not good, but that's fine. That's fine. As our beloved president would say. Oh, what is that? It is a 6 and a 2 and 8, so that becomes a 7.
Okay, so you have a choice. Keep control or give control over to Houston and gain momentum.
I'm going to give control over and take a momentum.
Okay, Houston, tell me how you landed, how you come back and get control of this thing.
Okay, I think he was just thrown out of the ring, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was. I think he lands on his feet.
Oh, nice.
And vaults back into the ring onto Sub Pig.
Oh, perfect.
That's good.
Yeah, you're an athlete. So what do you think you do? Are you kind of using your force to knock him over, or what are you doing to him?
Yeah, I think it's, you know, he wants to win this. He's going to try to play to his strengths.
Okay.
So I think he gets on, vaults on top of him, and then just picks him up, tosses him, that sort of thing.
Okay. So sounds like you're kind of like maybe trying to do a little more strength work there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then let's have you roll with power.
I never thought I'd say this, but I think Sub Pig may have bitten off more than he could handle.
Wait, did that wrong? Oh, okay.
And which did you take the +1 to? Power or real?
I took the +1 to real, but there was also
because you should be at a total of +1 on your stats at that point. Because your stats started at 0, and then you added a +1.
No, I was looking at. No, the athlete stats start at -1.
Oh, okay.
Look -1, power +1, real 1, work -2, and then add 1 and subtract 1 from any stat.
Oh, okay. I was wrong about that then. Okay. So let's have you roll with that then.
Yeah. That's 4 plus whatever.
+1 is
power is 5. Awesome. Not great.
That's not a great one.
Not amazing.
So what do you think goes wrong there?
I think he's just not. His head is not in the game like it should be, and he's a little reckless, and like Sub Pig is a little heavier than he thought.
Okay.
And I think it's one of those tosses that just gets completely flipped around on him.
Sure. Now you're going to give your 1 momentum over to Sub Fahrenheit Pig. What is it that you injure on yourself? What is it that you pull, strain, tear? Is it arm? Is it leg? Is it wrist? What do you think?
I think whatever this muscle is.
Okay.
on his left arm gets.
Oh, the one that I've never exercised.
Um,
Do you think you've ever? I mean, you've done some wrestling before this. Have you ever torn anything like this? Do you think that Houston knows what's going on there?
I think he's torn muscles back in sports.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's generally gotten away unscathed and went in his time in wrestling, though.
Okay.
So I think he like knows the deal and like this is bad, but this is also the first time it's happened to him in an actual wrestling match.
Okay.
And it's like his arm instead of like his leg.
So sub Fahrenheit Pig, you saw that go bad.
Yeah. And
What do you want to do?
Well, first I'd like to emphasize how ridiculous that looks, right? That it's this muscular guy, right? This athlete. And Sub Pig is like, he's a big guy, but he's like heavy. He looks like he's never seen a gym in his life. His gut hangs over the front of his trunks. But he's still wearing the Mr. Fahrenheit gear. So it's like those skin-tight white trunks, sequin boots. But there's like blood stains on the trunks now. No shirt still, but a little bit more ridiculous. He's wearing like lots of scarves now. So it's just ugly. The whole scene's ugly, I guess is what I'm getting at when this goes wrong. And when he sees it goes wrong and he gets a sense that he hurt himself doing the move, he takes over, grabs him, pulls him in. I have a solution for you. We can get some heat and still take it very easy.
All right, what you got?
Get some juice.
Sorry, did not hear that last bit.
You're gonna get some juice.
All right.
All right, good.
So now the question here is Houston going to stay in the match? Because you have that injury option to get out. You can stick with it?
I think, yeah, he wants to stick with it.
Okay.
To be clear, I don't know the term "get some juice."
Okay.
Good.
That's out of character. I would think Houston would, but I don't know.
I don't know what he's going to do either.
Sure. I think it's
Sub Fahrenheit Pig is
what?
crazy. I
Okay.
have no idea what comes next.
Okay. Get juice.
So what happens?
And for those who've been following the arc, you know, the Mr. Fahrenheit phase really taught him a lot more about not having to kill yourself and kind of going for a more theatrical approach. And this takes you to another level as he reaches into his trunks and pulls out a golden spike, like a big railroad tie, and just starts lunging it into Huxley's forehead. And this is working hardcore.
Okay. Let's have you roll work hardcore. When you draw blood, use a weapon or revel in violence in the ring, roll plus real.
Dear Lord, this ain't even legal in this
That
state.
is a 9. I have -1. No, 0 real, I think.
Yeah. And you gained 1 momentum from his botch.
Yeah, I've got a ton of momentum right now. This is going to be a 10. It's just a matter of how many momentum that's going to cost me.
Okay.
So it's going to be a what's my damn character sheet? Yeah, real 0. So I'm going to spend 2, and that is going to be a 10. So I'm going to get audience. Woohoo!
You retain control of the match and you pick one.
Oh, nah. And I gain +1 heat with my opponent.
Okay. So the audience is loving it, Houston. They are going nuts for you getting railroad spiked by this crazed madman with a half pig mask.
Call me Phineas Gage.
That's the most obscure reference yet at the table. So Sub Pig, where does it go from there?
Now that I've got him with the spike, I'm going to. He's laid out. I just toss him on the floor. He's lying there, and I walk over.
Thing, Sub Pig. I'm gonna tell you before you move on. I'm gonna tell you what the booking is. See, the guy that you just laid out there, that's the guy who's booked to win.
Perfect.
Tell me what happens.
So I walk over to the turnbuckle, and I take the turnbuckle pads off, and the inner mechanisms are revealed. And I slide the spike through the turnbuckle hooks there. So it is sticking out. And I walk to the center of the ring. And I prop that limp, lifeless body up to its feet. And grab it and prepare it for a huge Irish whip into the turnbuckle, which I presume is reversed.
So you're going to try, and he's setting it up so that you can reverse it and throw him into that turnbuckle. Houston, do you do that? Two choices. You can go for the win and the finisher, or you can kind of do a no contest here and walk away.
No, I'm going for the finisher. Absolutely. Trying not to actually injure.
Okay.
He was scared of Sub Pig, but I think
you just roll straight 2d6 on this.
Yeah. All right.
Dear Lord, people, I think we're going to see a murder right here.
10.
10 on a 10 plus. You hit it clean, and you gain an audience.
All right.
Tell me what that looks like. Do you actually impale the Sub Pig, or is it something else?
I think he actually makes a big show of not doing that. He looks like he's gonna, and then slams him such that like the spike is under his arm and next to his torso, and then lays him out in more traditional style, and then don't know what his finisher is, but
that was the finishing move right there. What do you want to call it? What do you want to call it?
God, I don't know. Any suggestions, anybody?
Ooh, what's like an athletic term? What do you have?
If you're like athletic and that's kind of your gimmick, right? I'd make it something like, and you're a heel. It's not exciting. It's something like a victory roll or a small package, like almost like an amateur wrestling style move where you just effectively pin somebody.
All right. I think it's going to come to me in a sec.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. As you're doing that, I've got something that's going to happen. It's going to be a thing we're going to move into because it's something that you asked for just a little bit ago. Okay. Yeah. So even as you've knocked down Sub Pig, you're a heel. You're kind of celebrating.
Yeah.
Tell me, Mad Dog.
Oh my!
How do you jump him?
Oh goodness! So he's thrown across this thing, and Sub Pig down there, and he's moving into this pin, and running down is not my strong point.
Right.
But I
assume Houston sees you coming.
So as I come moving down, and I'm trying to get his attention before he can finish it up, so it gets a break up long enough for me to get to the edge there and lure the kid over. You know, I'm yelling, "You can't possibly do that. You don't deserve these accolades. You haven't paid like so many have," to lure him closer and I'll lean up and I'll do the hangman on the top rope as he leans over. And as he flops back, if my run-in is hopefully working, I'm trying to swerve it so Sub Pig can get a win, but I'm trying to hangsman in there.
Well, now this is actual setup for a match. He asked for a match, so we're actually going to go to a match move on here.
Oh my, okay.
He took that as
ECW style booking.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's carrying on. So do you want to do that with? Do you think that's look, or do you think that's work? What do you think that is?
I think that's probably work. I mean, okay. I'm used to being able to not actually goozle somebody when they do it.
So Houston, you're kind of up there, you're waiting, you got Sub Pig out, and then Mad Dog ambushes you.
And the action never stops here, folks. We're in a match, and a match, and a match. No non-stop action here at Gauntlet League Wrestling.
Matchception.
That's it. It's matches all the way down. So
let's see your work roll.
I rolled. I got a 7 with my bonus, but I got some momentum. I'm taking it up to the 10.
To a 10?
Yeah, I'm going to spend that mo.
All right.
Man,
then,
come on.
So that's a 10 will get you either 2 momentum or a heat with your opponent.
I'm taking the heat.
Okay. You still have control of the match. Where are you and where is Houston when we come back on you?
I think that after he took the hangman, he bounced back in towards the center of the ring, and I managed to haul myself through the ropes to get up there. I come out, I give the howl. I'm going to look over towards Sub Pig just to see where Sub Pig is thinking in this match. Are you giving me any eyes on this one, Sub Pig?
What do you think, Matt? Where'd you lock up?
This freeze. And he doesn't trust you with young talent at all. So while Sub Pig is laid out on the outside of the ring right now, he's still on the outside of the ring right now.
Okay. So I'm going to head in, as I get up, and I'll pull him up from the match, and I'm giving the whirlwind. So I'm going to do the run with him. I'm hoping to end this one out quick. That's my hope. And so I'm going to get him in the bulldog position, and I'm going to do something I haven't done in half a decade. I'm going to run to the turnbuckle and actually climb the turnbuckle for a turnaround bulldog.
Wow. So what do you want to call that?
As a move, or what do I think the role is?
Yeah. What stat are we rolling on?
Oh, I think that's probably work.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, there's no deck, so I think it's work.
Okay.
Oof, there's a 5. Oh, I'm going to let the 5 go so I can spend my last 2 momentum to pick up heat with my face move.
Okay. So you spend 1 of your momentum then and give that to to Houston. Houston, you have a momentum now. You have control of the match. And I think you came down on your right side there.
Oh,
Mad Dog.
That's an injury.
Yeah. Houston, you get breathing room.
Yeah. He gonna take a sec to reorient himself. But I mean, what's Mad Dog look like?
Mad Dog is kind of laying there. He's got an injury too. You could walk away from here, no contest, or he could keep pushing forward.
Oh no, he pushes forward.
Okay.
Yeah, Mad Dog looks like when he was trying to come across, his foot slipped, and he went off that rope when he was supposed to do the turnaround, and he definitely pulled that hip out of place, and you could see him. He's like, oh shit, oh Lord, oh Lord.
And Sub Pig is fighting to suppress laughter and stay in character on the outside of the ring.
I think
Go on.
I think Houston grabs the spike. He's gonna go in.
Are you gonna work hardcore on him?
I'm gonna work hardcore on him.
Roll with real.
That's actually a good stat I have. So let's see. That's a 6. I'm gonna spend a momentum to bring that up to a 7.
Okay. So this is on the match moves. On a 7 and 9, the crowd pops. Your opponent is going to gain control, and you pick one.
Okay. I'll take heat.
Okay, so the audience is loving this. They're eating it up. You know, you're a youngster taking it to this old schooler, and here's the thing. What does that look like? Where do you hit him with that spike?
I think he goes for a show of putting it into where Mad Dog's already injured.
That's kind of hits you in the hip with that. The refs are coming in.
Can I add that owing to his relative inexperience, I guess, he doesn't realize there was a razor blade attached to the end of the spike and that he just put a razor blade into Mad Dog's hip?
Oh, there's a razor blade on the spike.
Yeah, that's to do the cutting so they can draw blood. Yeah, so a lot more blood will come out than you expected, Houston. And the ref is coming into the ring. He's clearly coming up. Unless somebody does something, he's going to do it. Just do a DQ finish. Essentially, going to call this match off and break things up. Houston, are you okay with that?
Not especially. Not clear what Houston can do. Like he didn't want to actually injure. He was just trying to make a show of playing dirty.
What do you think? Do you want to let? I mean, you got a couple of choices. You could break kayfabe and try and help him. You could.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna break kayfabe.
Okay.
I think. So he's just bleeding from the hip a lot. Yeah,
he's clearly took a hip injury, and now this spike with the razor blade has cut him. So let's have you roll with real.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the spike in horror. I was like, what the fuck? What's up, pig? That's 8.
Okay, so you gain 2 momentum. But what do you think is the cost there as you pick him up? Is it that you would and punitive match would just be for fiction because unless you come back and we were able to get you into one, you lose a heat with somebody or you lose somebody's support.
I mean, I think it's got to be losing heat with somebody, right?
Okay. So he goes to pick you up, Mad Dog. I mean,
as he's coming in, and I think I could see on his face that he did not realize what the fuck was going to happen. And I know Sub Pig, so I understand what has happened. And so as he picks me up, I'm like, kid, you're the bad guy. Hit me across the forehead with that thing now. And I'll move in, so you can slice me across the head. Just drop me, kid.
Okay.
Do you do that?
Don't love it, but yeah, I think that's what he's going to try to do.
And so I
Turn
think
the spike around, maybe.
Yeah. No. I think you'll do that.
Or no.
I want that razor cut.
Okay.
I think you'll do that across. Yeah. What does that look like? Because I think the refs are going to come in and pull this apart at that point.
God, I think it's yeah, I think he's on top of Mad Dog, and Mad Dog is kind of has his arms keeping him back, and it's sort of a slow overpowering, and he just sort of slowly.
That's far enough, kid. That's far enough, kid.
And tell me how you sell that, Mad Dog.
I think that, as you know, I'm probably using my strength to guide him to where it gets just to the skin, and I'm going to turn my head and roll under that top rope and let the blood flow. Okay. I'm a sweater, so it's not much of a problem for it to start really flowing. And as I roll out, though, I'm going to look back over my shoulder and kind of flip, and that blood will squirt back. And I hope I get a little on him as I say, fucking cream puff.
Okay. The refs will pull people out of the ring. Medics are coming over. They're coming over to where everybody's at. You know, they're checking you out, Houston. They're moving you out. They're checking Matt. They move people in different directions. Sub Pig, you know, the camera is still on you because this is the exciting return of Sub Fahrenheit Pig. And there's this weird kind of schmoz ending where no one knows exactly what the results were or what happened there. But they're gonna move it out quick. Wolf Backhouse is getting the Clarabelle and Kent Reed thing set up still. So he's sending some NPW wrestlers in. We'll start to see some of them. You know, we do a couple of quick squash matches. They've got some new talent they're bringing in, and so we'll see some of them. I had a name here. We'll see. They've got a sort of giant monster woman named Gorgon that they have come out and do some squash stuff, and they will clear that out of there. And we were going to get set up for that last match of the night. We're kind of tight on time. Does anybody do anything real quick backstage? You want to do a vignette before we cut to that last match? Anybody have anything? That was good, Alex, by the way. That was nice.
I have something really quick where, you know, once we're backstage and they're taping me, and, you know, they're really probably having a look at what happened to my hip. But I think I'll see Houston coming in. Kid, you got to make sure I'm off on the wrong accent, and I'm Southern. You got to make sure that you get your gimmick off every time. Don't let your feelings get in the way. This shit'll heal. Your rep never will. Impress me.
Yeah, and you probably see them taping his arm up too. They like you now see that you can probably see the bulge where the injury is, right?
Ask the Knox boy. You'll be better for it.
Oh. Thanks for not dying out there, I guess.
That sounds awesome. Anybody else anything before we move into this?
There's one real quick thing. The Sub Pig walking past Huxley. Kid, that's why you gotta watch the tapes.
And what the hell? What is wrong with you?
Kevin Sullivan was doing the spike in Florida in the 70s. You were hurt. We got huge pop out of them without doing anything. You got to have this in your toolbox. You got to know about this kind of stuff.
Look, man, they just sprung you on me. And you're crazy.
No, it was good. It was good. Lots of blood. They love that. You can always just give them blood.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm not such a big fan.
Good response. I like that. And one of the first people to talk back to Sub Pig on the hardcore point. So nice. So we're going to cut. We've got the main event of the evening. There were people were asking for it. The individual wrestlers asked for it last time. It is Kent Reed versus Clarabelle Bleakwood. Kent, when we come to you for your promo, what is it?
Okay, first I want to have just a little quick off-camera scene where Kent he got his phone back from Clarabelle and he's flipping through it and making sure it's turned off, and he says, "Dad called." Weird.
Nice.
I'll call it back. And he turns his phone off and puts it in the locker back there. I think what we see backstage is Kent's in an interview segment with our interview person whose name I can't remember. I know it's Victoria something, but
Victoria Onyx.
Okay. Victoria Onyx is back there. Kent's standing back there. You see the treasure chest in the background because they want to make sure that's always floating in the background with him. And she says, "Kent, you finally got a showdown with Clarabelle Bleakwood. You've finally get to try to put this thing to rest with her. What are your thoughts leading into this match?" And Kent looks very serious, like more serious than we've seen him on camera so far, other than his promo before the abortive Spider Kid match. And he says, "Victoria has a vendetta against me. You know, I know there was a lot of friction between our dads back in the day, but that doesn't mean it had to be between us. But Clarabelle decided to make it that way. She's got her stable of monsters. I've just got me. And tonight, I'm going to show her household full of monsters and craziness, and everybody out here in Gauntlet City, GP.
Okay.
That me is all I'm going to need to take this home."
Perfect.
When he walks
and so cut a promo, and you can layer cut a promo with Cheap Heat. So that works. So go ahead and roll with look.
Okay. That's a 7 on the dice plus my look of 2 for a 9.
Okay.
And I'm going to spend my 1 momentum that I had initially to bump that up to a 10.
Okay, so you gain a momentum, and so it pays it back, and you get to pick one from the 7 to 9 list. It looks good.
And let me get my 7 to 9 list up. Okay, I've already got max heat with Clarabelle, so I'm going to take the extra momentum.
Okay. We cut to Clarabelle's promo. What do we see for that?
Okay, it's the inside of a black draped carriage. We see it being driven along of roads with overhanging trees and all creepy sort of mist coming up. The camera comes up to the window, zooms inside, and inside there's Clarabelle's got her hand on this little table with a crystal ball in the middle, and she's got her hand on it, and you can see Kent actually superimposed in the crystal ball itself. Everything is in readiness. All the pawns have been moved into position. Tonight will be my greatest victory. Mr. Reed, you stole something from me 2 weeks ago. There's a treasure that you have that I should possess. It's my right. I deserve it. And tonight, Bob, I'll be taking it from you. I have some surprises for you tonight, Mr. Reed. But one thing you will see coming, and that is my victory. And there's just going to mad cackling as the camera zooms out through the back window of the coach and it drives off into the distance.
Perfect. Let's have you roll with your cut a promo.
I don't know why I bother. I really don't. That's 5.
That is a 5. So as you are, that promo is going and you're getting things set up, you will see, as you can come back, you will see that both Backhouse is talking to a group of women there, women wrestlers that you don't recognize. One of them might be Terminatrix, but you don't know. You haven't seen her, in her non blonde haired and weird outfit. He says, yeah, so we're gonna, it's been a good news stable. We walked with you the gimmicks, you signed your contracts. We've got a whole new angle we're going to be pushing for with you as hero sort of slayer characters that we're going to be pushing over the next 6 to 8 weeks here. So we'll get you oriented. We had Gorgon do her match tonight. We're very excited to have her in. We just don't have any women wrestlers who are really, shining and bringing that side of the promotion over. The PA backstage goes, Clarabelle, you're on. We got to get you in the wagon. Clarabelle.
And she's just,
Miss Bleakwood?
yeah, I heard you.
And they'll load you. Yes.
Well, one thing.
So I'm assuming that this is at a distance, so
Okay.
You're not near him, so you can just overhear this. I mean, you can walk over there and interrupt that.
No, that's fine. If they were nearby, I'll walk out.
Okay.
I will try and I'll put my game face on and walk under the ring for my entrance.
Yeah. Kent Reed, what does your entrance look like?
Okay, Kent, you hear the Godsmack. They've still got that mist machine, and by God, they're going to use it until they've run out of stuff for it. So it starts pumping out, and Kent comes out. They want him to bring out the treasure chest. He's carrying that, or he's carrying that. He lifts it up over his head as he goes down to the ring, and sets it over by the announce table.
What do you do when you see your dad on the Gauntlet Tron?
This is going to be tricky. He's as he lifting it up, he sees Dad. He gets a little bit of a shocked look on his face, like, oh hell. But he tries to. Does it look like anybody else in the audience has noticed him?
Oh, like, yeah, dude, they've got him on the Jumbotron. They've got the subtitle. It says Eric the Red on it.
Oh man,
he's looking at the camera, going like,
"Oh God, Dad!" All right.
He's wearing and his suit sort of looks like his old Viking gimmick.
He's got like a fur lined coat or something. Oh, okay. I think when Kent sees him, he skips a beat for a second, but then he like lifts up the treasure chest to the Jumbotron, like he's offering it to his dad.
Okay.
Getting it to his dad, that sort of gesture. And then he sets it down by the announce table, climbs into the ring, and as he points out to his dad, he starts doing that old school sort of Viking buildup that his dad used to do before the matches. He's trying to work the audience a little bit.
That sounds good. Have you roll for that?
And I think he's going to go for this with his look because he is referencing his legacy and his gimmick. Oh
yeah, you do have that, so that's perfect.
All right, that's a 5 on the dice plus 2 from look for a 7.
You can gain momentum, or you can start and control the match.
I will say I'm going to take the momentum.
Okay.
I like to have a good cachet of that for when the dice desert me.
Perfect. So unless Clarabelle changes it, Clarabelle's going to start in control of the match. Then Clarabelle, tell me about this entrance.
Okay, so the lights go down. Spotlight actually comes on the ramp. Well, actually, just off the side of the ramp where the service door entrance is, and this magnificent carriage, a Gothic carriage with gas lamps, oil lamps hung on the outside, draped out in black. You've got the horses there, black stallions with the black plumes on the front, and it slowly rolls out. Benson's there driving it, and it comes down to the ring. It stops. I'm guessing Benson gets down, opens the door, and Clarabelle steps out of the actual carriage itself. She's in her full demon attire. She stops. She looks around to the audience, and then she reaches into the carriage, and out steps her father, taking her hand.
She's looking around for the beer.
She leads him over to ringside. Sits him at the ringside. Bows low to him, and I'm basically trying to get cheap heat put off the pop of seeing.
Sure, I'll give you the cheap heat. Somebody hands him a beer. And they very quickly getting the little picture, Lord Bleakwood, and they put a picture, and they've got him kind of dressed up in sort of the Lord Bleakwood costume, and he kind of doesn't look like he wants to be here, but you start in control of the match. Who's on the announcer table? No one.
I'll always go. You want to do color and me do play-by-play?
My microphone was muted.
So you two can jump on, or anybody else when we do this. But let's go in. We got about 15 minutes here. So let's start with you in control of the match, Clarabelle.
Okay, so I climb into the ring. I stalk over to Kent. I will stop and I will hold out my hand. Does Kent take it?
I think Kent looks at it for a second, looks at you, looks at the audience, and reaches for it and takes the hand, like the angry hand grab.
Yeah, and I'll pull you close. Hand goes behind the back of the neck, and we're shouting at each other and saying, "Okay, this is it. Let's do this." And at which point I'll Irish whip you into the ropes. And as you come in, I will hip toss you into the middle of the ring, and immediately go over and do a springboard elbow off the actual second rope.
Okay, right. And Kent sells that pretty well. Is it a hard enough shot, you think, Gerwin, for it to kind of take him out of the ring, or is it something to just knock him down? No,
this is just something to actually catch him on the mat. It's me trying to do big flashy moves, but
okay, like an elbow drop. Okay.
Yes, it's basically I jump up onto the second rope and use that spring to actually then come down and deliver a falling elbow on you.
Does that sound like work to you, or?
It's work, unfortunately.
Okay, let's have you roll.
Okay, and that would be a 7.
7, so that does get you that edge. Do you want to keep control, or do you want to give control to him and take a momentum?
I'd like to give control to him and take the momentum.
Kent.
Clarabelle stares at her opponent with bad intentions and then performs a mediocre execution.
I think we get that shot where Clarabelle lands that elbow hard, and Kent sort of kicks his legs a little bit to kind of give the impression of that extra impact. And she pulls him up and goes to take him into the turnbuckle, goes to slam his head into the turnbuckle, and he does like the double hand block. She tries to do it again. He blocks it again. And then he shoots it. He basically elbows her in the gut twice. And then he basically, as she's stunned, he lifts her up and drops her face first onto the turnbuckle for a snake eyes.
Oof.
So I'm thinking that's probably a work. That's probably a spot that we've kind of practiced, because that's a good like spot to sort of add in color.
So you think you want to roll heat with that?
I don't think it's a big enough move to where we worked on it that much, but it's something that we planned for. I think. I think it's a work.
Okay, let's have you roll work.
That's a 9 plus my work of 1, so that's a 10.
Oh yeah, you hit it well. So you can gain 2 momentum or heat with your opponent.
I've got max heat, so I'm taking the 2 momentum.
Oh yeah.
And I retain control of the match, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I think after the Snake Eyes, Clarabelle sort of staggers and falls in the middle of the ring. I think Kent basically runs into the ropes, jumps back, and drops a big leg drop across the chest.
And at this point, I'm going to use my ace move to actually interrupt.
Okay.
Steal 1 momentum from you as part of that.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And as you're coming down, I actually catch the leg and shift it over and turn it into a submission move. So I basically lift you up. I'm lifting your leg up, and I've got you in an ankle lock in the middle of the ring. And I'm screaming abuse to you the entire time I'm doing it.
Stunning reversal by Clarabelle Bleakwood, showing the world she is more than just a gimmick.
Okay, and that would be a 3. So I will give that momentum back to you, having totally wasted that move, and you managed to counter it.
So as you're doing that, Clarabelle, you will see that as a current rye that they actually have some medics over by your dad right now. You're not sure what's going on. So what do you do, Kent?
Does Kent notice the medics yet? I'm not sure. Positioning in the ring wise, he might not have been able to see him since he was in the ankle lock.
Of course not. Of course you don't notice. This is just a match.
Okay. I'm thinking he's for the ankle lock counter, like he does that sort of stand up on like both hands and one leg, and then do like a forward roll that sort of tumbles Clarabelle forward. She was supposed to go into the turnbuckle and just sort of get stunned by the impact of the turnbuckle. Then he moves in for like a turnbuckle stomp. And I think, right now his back is still to the ringside area where her dad is.
Okay. Then let's have you roll work, and let's check in with Clarabelle.
Okay. Okay. That is a 5 total, but I'm going to spend 2 momentum to bring that up to a 7.
Okay. Do you want to keep control, or do you want to hand it over to Clarabelle?
I'm going to take 1 momentum back from that, and I'm going to hand it over to Clarabelle.
Clarabelle, what do you do?
Okay, so I'm being beaten on. What can I see happening with my father?
It looks like they've got they've actually now they're kind of clearing people away. It looks like they've got an oxygen mask out, and you're not sure what's going on because, of course, with the angle of that, it's hard to tell. But they've actually got him down, got a mask, and it looks like they're waving. Maybe they're going to get rolled down a stretcher because they have those backstage.
Okay, I'm gonna start shooting. I'm going to start shooting strong style on Kent.
Okay.
So he's stamping me. I will literally do a fist into the back of the knee as the leg comes down. As he's wincing from that, I will basically then hit the other one to knock him down, and I'm just going to start laying into him.
All right. Then let's have you roll real.
Okay, so that will be an 11.
Okay. When you work stiff without intent to injure, roll real for the wrestling move. You hit it on a 10 plus without spending momentum. You gain extra momentum. So what do you want from this?
I want the 3 momentum from that.
Okay, so you got 3 momentum, and you're still in control of the match, and it is brutal. Kent, she is laying into you.
At this point, I'm going to push him to the side, run over, slide under the rope, and go to my father. I'm breaking kayfabe here. I'm breaking character.
Okay, let's have you roll break kayfabe.
And what's going on here in this? What had been a complete stalemate of a match. The momentum had finally shifted, and suddenly Clarabelle seems distracted.
Okay, I've got a 12 on break kayfabe.
Okay, so they respect that you run over there to your father, and you're going to get +1 audience as that is kind of going up. I assume you're going to go backstage with him.
I'm going to start going backstage with him.
Okay.
What's he actually like?
It looks like he had some kind of palpitations, like he kind of passed out, and he might be having some kind of heart issue or something.
Okay.
And got the oxygen on him right now. Kent, what do you do?
I'm going to actually, as soon as I see that, I'm going to get back into the ring.
Well, let me stop here and let Kent react to this, okay? Because you've kind of followed up on the thing. So you see Clarabelle go down. They load her father up on the thing. She starts going up with that. What's your reaction to that, Kent?
I think Kent's going to use his babyface move.
Okay.
So basically, I've got the 2 momentum to spend.
Okay.
And let me see if I'm remembering what I can do with that.
Gain a heat.
Correctly.
Leave them speechless. Create a book you in a match. Add a stipulation to a match.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to look at Clarabelle as she's sliding back into the ring, and we start to go at it. And she kind of starts to go in, and Kent says, "Send Benson in after me. Go back with your dad. Benson's out here. Let this can be good for him too. You got family. You need to do this." So basically, Kent's standing up for family. He's spending the 2 momentum, and he's asking them to make this into a match where Clarabelle subs in the monster Benson to try to destroy Kent.
What do you think, Clarabelle? You good with that?
Yes, I will. I'll throw him across I'll take him to the actual edge of the ring. We're grappling there. Kick him in the stomach, and throw him out of the ring towards Benson. So Benson can basically catch him as he comes down. I'll get up to the top ropes and go, finish what I have started. Prove yourself to me. And at that point, I will springboard over and rush backstage.
Okay. So you rush backstage. Benson, you have control of the match.
Oh, Benson's just going to start pummeling him right there. Like right on the outside, he's going to be pummeling him. And then he's going to grab him up, and he's going to do that thing where they grab him, and then they throw them into the stairs.
Okay. So does that sound like power?
Yeah, power. He's just going to try to hurl him off in there.
Okay.
And it's a family affair. You never have a singles match with a Bleakwood.
And I got a 10.
10. So you can get 2 momentum, or you can gain a heat with Kent Reed.
I will gain the heat.
Okay. You still have control, Kent. You've thrown. You've done this just thing. And you will see one of the, come running from backstage, one of Backhouse's assistants is kind of coming running down to talk to you guys. But what happens next?
Am I still in control?
Benson's still in control.
Oh, okay, so Benson hammers him there. Then he comes over, and he'll sort of do that. He'll roll him back into the ring. He rolls him back up into the ring and then sort of slides up there after him. And we both get in the rings, and you see Benson do this, and he's not real good at this, but he's going for this moment. He's going to try to climb the ropes, and jump, kind of climb the ropes and jump down onto Kent.
Okay.
I'm thinking this is work, probably.
Yeah, I think so, definitely.
All right, and I got a 4.
Oh. So what goes wrong?
All right, so I think he's climbing the ropes to get up there. And I think he gets up on the rope to jump. And I think Kent's letting him have this moment here. But I think he slips on the rope. I think he slips on the rope and he just goes down, and he goes down hard.
Okay. So Benson falls and hits the mat and goes out, like clearly knocked himself out, Kent.
Kent is the reason why we call those high-risk maneuvers.
Kent makes a show of really selling that being slammed repeatedly into the stairs outside. He sees that Benson is hurt. He doesn't know if he's knocked out yet or not because he hasn't crawled over that to there, but he sees that going on. I think Kent goes over, like crawling over towards Benson, and he like lifts his arm like he's going to drop it across him, like to just go for like a desperation style pin.
Okay.
And he says, dude, you awake? You okay?
Yeah, and I think Benson's unresponsive right now.
Just so he's out.
Yeah.
Kent, you can go for your finisher if you want.
Okay. I think Kent's going to finish that match with like just a desperation pin, like selling like he's had the crap beat out of him, and he's just slumping across one arm across the just upper body, just enough to qualify as a pin.
Let's see how that looks, because this could still go terribly wrong.
Oh yes, it could. Because I've got some bad dice coming.
Yes.
Okay. That is a 5, but I still have 3 momentum. So I'm going to spend 2 of those to bring it up to a 7.
All right. They make you work for it. They obviously allow you to get the win, and you gain a heat with them, or they push you and you both gain momentum.
I think I want to take the momentum.
Okay.
That'll bring me back up to 2 momentum just in case.
Okay. So you do the pin. Your dad's out there. He's kind of waiting for you to do the Viking finisher thing. Do you do the showy Viking finisher?
I think I stand up after things are after I figure out what's going on. I think basically he does the theatrics, but he doesn't actually hit the move on Benson, because and I think Kent sort of, he doesn't necessarily want to like really blow this thing because it's already kind of screwed up. But he does like whisper as he rolls off Benson after the pin. He whispers to whichever of Wolf's guys came down to like give us the ear about what was going on. He says he's hurt.
He said, "Okay, never mind. We're going to give you a booking, but you're good. You're good. We'll take care of this. We'll get this." And they start kind of clearing the ring. I'm going to cut.
And I think Kent will like do the end of the match theatrics.
Okay.
Like doing the show off while they're doing that, like kind of distracting a little bit from it.
Sure. And your dad will be excited by that. When you go and do theatrics, you kind of have to play into that whole Viking thing. That's when he starts to look proud. of you, because he did not look happy when you let Clarabelle just walk away. But we cut backstage. I think this gives us a moment here. Houston, you see the booker, Jeffrey Bleakwood, comes, you know, he clearly was watching over the internal video back there. He comes running out, and you'll see the medics come pouring in here, and they've got this older guy on a stretcher, and you can tell that there's chaos in the ring, Houston. It's just a madhouse back here. And again, the EMT's there. Clarabelle, by the time you get back to there, Jeffrey's already there by the thing, and he looks at you like he is pissed. And he says, "Dad's okay. Told you not to bring him."
You didn't say that. You said that you didn't want him involved. How long has this been going on?
Listen, I have to stay here. I want you to ride to the hospital with him.
Okay. Okay.
And I think that's where we're going to cut away on that cliffhanger tonight. We will come back on that next time, because we're right at time, and I will come back and give you plenty of time on that, Gerwin, beginning of next session. All right? Okay. I want to thank all of you. Alex, I want to thank you for coming in and sitting in, and we bashed you around.
Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, this is
awesome.
I'm glad you good character.
Yeah.
Really liked him.
Yeah.
So
it's always a roller coaster learning a new game, but this was a lot of fun.
There's a lot of crazy stuff. And James, you're with us for a few weeks, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
I'll be
So
back for
I am super looking forward to seeing Benson back in here. Matt, I need you to decide on a name that we're going to be calling you. And Chris, good stuff with Kent. We'll drag that feud out for one more week, and we'll get a big resolution with that. And as always, also kudos to Tyler for bringing in a whole new character for just this week, and like putting so many events into motion. It was really good. Thank you all very much. I am going to stop the recording now.
Tyler,